I wanted to help my girlfriend live a happier life, but now I need therapy and a restraining order. I met Layla through mutual friends. We liked the same music and movies, and we had a shared hobby that we started doing together. After a couple of dates, I'd already fallen for her. Then after 6 months, I was already thinking about marrying her. There was just one problem. She always acted like someone was out to hurt her. She would jump at loud noises, shrink behind me if we heard yelling, and refuse to stay over at my place until I added specific locks to the door and windows. At first, I thought her nervousness was amplified around me because she was still getting to know me. But one night, we went out to eat and sat in a back corner booth like always. The meal was going great until someone in a supped-up truck drove by. The second the muffler popped, she ducked underneath the table. I had to get under the table with her and hold her until she finally agreed to come out. Anytime I've tried suggesting therapy, she shut it down, saying that I wouldn't understand. But I hated seeing her suffer. I decided I needed to figure out what happened, and maybe then I would know how to help her. I went to our mutual friends first. We all work in the same office building, just in different departments. The one who set up our first date, Kara, had an office a few down from mine. The next time I bumped into her, I asked her if I could buy her lunch. And the second we sat down at a nearby cafe, I bluntly asked her, "Do you have any idea what happened to Layla?" Kara gave me a questioning look. "Your girlfriend Layla? What do you mean? Her anxiety is through the roof, but she's never even given me a hint as to why. Do you know something?" Kara shook her head. "I only knew her a short while before introducing you two. The real person to talk to is Adrian. He was the one who came to me to say that she had a crush on you." I sat back in surprise. I thought our first date was a blind date where neither party knew the other. Why did Layla lie? But I had more important questions to focus on. I asked Kara, "In that case, what was your impression of her?" Kara thought for a moment, but shrugged. She seemed shy, but not like the scaredy cat you're talking about. Kara switched the topic after that, but my mind wouldn't let go of what she said. Layla was always nervous around me. Did she act differently around Kara? Once we were back at work, I found an excuse to head to the finance department where Andrian worked. I found him in the copy room, and he narrowed his eyes at me when I shut the door. "Hey, I gotta ask something. Does Layla act really nervous while at work?" "No, not nervous. She's quiet, but pretty normal." "Why? Something happened?" At this point, my brain was spinning. Did Layla act differently around Adrian too? Why? I rubbed my temple. That's what I want to know. She constantly acts terrified of the world when she's with me, but apparently, she acts normal around everyone else. Am I the problem? Adrian's face softened. "Unless you did something, I doubt it." Somehow, Layla found out that Kara and I went to high school together and still talk. She begged me for a week to ask Kara to set you two up. It was a weirdly indirect way to go about it, but I assumed she didn't know how to ask you herself. "Yeah, I thought it was a blind date." Adrian laughed. "Nope, Layla planned everything." I felt my heart drop into my gut. Something didn't feel right. My phone chimed, and I looked down at a text from Layla asking me to come over to her place after work. I was glad I picked up Laya's favorite ice cream on the way, because the second I let myself in and saw her in the living room, my blood went cold. She stood there with her arms folded, and a look in her eyes I'd never seen before. She told me that she'd seen me with Kara and asked why we were there. I was honest enough to say that I was trying to get relationship advice, but I didn't get too specific. My explanation seemed to work. I watched Layla's eyes go from wanting to kill me to the loving look they usually had. All of a sudden, she thanked me for bringing dessert and offered to make dinner. My voice shook a little when I said that'd be great, but that I had to use the restroom first. The second I walked down the hallway, though, I couldn't stop this sinking feeling. I wanted to run, but didn't know why. I ended up walking past the bathroom and into her bedroom without thinking. That was when I found the little yellow notebook on the bedside table. It had the words "diary" in bold on the front. A spark of hope ignited inside me as I realized this may be my chance to understand her better. I was dead wrong. The diary started on her first day at our company when I apparently picked up a file she dropped, and she decided we were meant to be together. The following pages were filled with notes about me, what I liked, my usual routine, and even details about my family. There was an entire section about how I grew up watching my mom get verbally and physically abused by her ex-husband, and how Layla was certain she would be irresistible to me if I thought she was someone I could save, since there was nothing I could do for my mom as a kid. I locked the bedroom door and pushed the dresser in front of it before climbing down the fire escape. The entire way to the police, I kept looking over my shoulder, terrified that Layla might be there.